You have entered the Plumbing Business Success Zone, teaching entrepreneurs the business of plumbing. This is Potty Talk Live, recorded live every week. Turn on notifications to never miss an episode. Now your host, Richard Bainey, the $1 Million Plumber.
Talk. I've been communicating with them, so hopefully we'll have them here, but we're glad we have you here. Okay, hey, and if you're here watching live, please type live in the comments. Let us know you're part of the live social audience.
Oh, I don't know if anybody will be here tonight.
Okay, and if you're watching the replay, please type replay. Let us know you caught the replay of this crazy night. Hey, things happen. Hey, guys, in because each one of these guys, okay, we have Bo McKenzie, Full Speed Plumbing out of Washington State.
We do.
He was going to be here.
I'm hoping he's going to be here.
I saw him for a moment, and then we kicked him out. Okay, Mr. Matt Delnay of Mountaineer Plumbing out of Grand Rapids, Michigan. And then finally, last but certainly not least, I know.
I'm pretty sure.
You know, being the techie guy that I am.
Yes, you are.
We
you
did.
So are.
We just got back. We went to Nashville, had a great, we met with our coaches. Hey, everyone has a coach. Even the coaches have a coach. Okay, a master. So, you know, you're looking to level up, okay? All right, you're either busy living or busy dying. Okay.
Keep talking.
All right. So we met with our coaches in Nashville, Tennessee.
Nashville, Tennessee.
And we took a couple days just to play a little bit in Nashville.
Yes.
Great city. All right, a lot of cool stuff there. And but while we were there, the lovely Laura got all excited because our kids all have iPhones.
They do.
Even the people, all the people we meet. I mean, the people we look up to even have iPhones, and it's like, okay, I guess we got to cool up. We're trying to level up. I guess we got to cool up.
I guess so.
You know,
and
so we went to iPhones, which I didn't even barely learn everything with my Android. you know. And now we have this stuff going on.
I think it has really little to do with that part, and more just technical difficulties here in the studios.
Okay. That's
but
good.
Hopefully we'll get it back. I'm waiting for a thing from our producer to say we do have everybody in the house. I'm hoping we do.
Okay, we do. Let's bring on whoever we can here, whenever or whatever.
Okay.
But we're talking about creating a company culture. You know, and culture is that, you know, it's not a mission statement. It's not, you know, it's not about the plumbing, that kind of a thing. You know, culture is how the business runs or how the business is associated, so people know how to behave even if you're not there.
Yes.
You know, so what are some good examples of culture? I want to throw you, you know, like
technology.
You know, like IBM. You know, IBM. You had was known for, they were all suits.
Oh yeah.
And that kind
Back
of
in the
thing.
day.
It was all buttoned up. And then you go to something like Apple. You know, which wasn't all buttoned up.
Right.
And in fact, you know, the whole thing with Apple was about being, later on it was one of the best, campaigns ever, was about being different, that kind of a thing.
Right.
But it was to push the envelope,
Okay.
To make it more, personal with our plumbing business. And we always try to get, culture, your culture is defined. You got a good handle on your culture when you can, when one word can describe it. We're not talking about writing a fancy, mission statement and all that. Food, if the trucks weren't stocked and that kind of thing, or if they were pointing a finger, well, why didn't they have this? Well, because it's this or that. What?
It's not my fault.
Right. It's not my fault. Text response. Average, I'd say a C minus tech. Well, he had sold a board job. For years, and every meeting, you are responsible. I'm not. All those other, I go name all the, they're all a bunch of wussies. Okay, they're crying for help. Mommy, come save me. We don't, you are the Marines. We are the tough guys. Okay, and so we even built this culture. Even our tech room, our tech room was red carpet. We had black leather chairs. They didn't sit on folding chairs and all that kind of garbage. Okay, because everything about it said, you guys are the pros. I mean, you're 007. You will die. Your life expectancy is probably not that long. Okay, but this is what's expected. Okay, but so here we had this average tech. All right, and so he was going to have to deal with the customer and everybody. I mean, my GM didn't know about it. I didn't know about it. I didn't know about it until Saturday. Saturday evening. What did our tech take on himself to do? Put this family up in a hotel, not a Night's Inn, not a red roof, but a good hotel. In a nice hotel, bought him dinner. Okay, made that decision on his own. All right, we don't work weekends. I assure you that this guy didn't want to work the weekend.
I'm sure he didn't.
But he worked the arrangement, stayed with the sub, got on the sub, said, you will be back here tomorrow. We're coming back here and getting this taken care of. That I found out that we had an issue. That was culture.
Was the thing.
Took responsibility. That's when your guys know that you have your culture. You can't put that up on a wall. You can put all this stuff up on the wall.
Which is still good.
Right. And we had that stuff up on the wall and everything. But it's what are you doing to make sure instill that culture.
Yes.
Because you're instilling a culture whether you are instilling one or not. Are you a good witch or a bad witch? The old Wizard of Oz.
It's a Glinda the Good Witch.
All right. So
well, do you want to try and see what happens?
Let's try. I would
try to bring these guys in.
Okay,
Shelby,
love to bring the masters in.
Unless Shelby says.
Shelby, let's roll. There we go.
What?
What? Hey, we made. All right,
yeah,
we got Mr. Darrell Whitaker, Inception Plumbing, Kansas City, Missouri.
Missouri.
All right, there we go. And last but not least, Mr. Bo McKenzie.
On.
Yeah.
We're very monochrome. What's it called?
It's looking good here.
Nice solid colors. Yes.
Well, it's good to have you guys here. Smile. Say something.
Because we're going to leave.
Yeah, I'm done.
Well, I'll dive in. I think Bandy hit the nail on the head with the talking about the customer. So that's always been like really, really huge with us from the get-go. Is part of our culture is to make sure the customer's taken care of. Number one. So you're focusing in on customer experience end to end. It's not about did we make money. Is the customer happy, and then we'll look at did we make money, right? So always making sure that the customer's taken care of. That's always, he's done that. He's made those calls where he's like, I just went ahead and discounted, or I did this or did that. Because that's number one. That's what makes businesses survive is focusing on the customer. So
definitely
nail on the head. That's on the top of my list actually.
I stole it from Darrell. And Darrell, you're exactly right. Most plumbing companies don't think of giving their customers an experience, right? They think of I'm going to go in and fix the toilet, or I'm going to go in and fix the sink, or whatever it is, right? But to give them these masters apart.
So DW, I know that. So serving the customer is a large part of your culture. And to focus on that. I know it's focus, so we've had conversations. How do you instill that into your culture, into your guy? How do your guys know? What do you do so that your guys know that our culture is about taking care of the customer? Is the customer happy?
Well, I love the concept of what you say is responsibility, but we don't drive it home like that hard. But I would love to adopt it. There's power in what you say, with that concept. But overall, I think we really have strategic ways we approach the customer's home. From how you park your vehicle to how you walk up to the house. I mean, it's a planned out event because you can't just go up to Mrs. Jones' door and walk up right up on the door. She needs to see your name tag. So we go into all those strategic plans and details so the customer inevitably gets a good experience, because the plumbing is just a piece of what we do. So going through these things with the technician all the time and going over and over and over again. Did you do this
Client, that kind of thing, and been through the process. Yeah. And I know you as a master technician. I mean, this guy is all about it being right and done right. So in his words, he's not saying, I love how you say, when you say, hey, we're not asking about, whatever straight to stop or whatever. I know you expect it to be right. So it was by saying we're focusing on the customer, it's not saying that, we're not saying that the plumbing is not important, but culture is not the plumbing. The culture, which involves the plumbing, right?
Yes.
Right.
We run a service business, customer service, supporting that, interacting with the customer. Those things that's what matters. And the plumbing it's a piece of it, and it's got to be done right. But if you want to have a happy customer, it's about goes into that. So, but anyway,
yes.
Matt, at Mountaineer, we always push the. I came up with the 3 Ps, and that's going to be professionalism. So that comes with your branded truck, your uniform, how you look, how you greet And so those 3 Ps are kind of like the core value of my culture is, hey, we're going to look professional. We're going to show up when we say we're going to show up. We're going to take care of you. We're going to spend 100% of our time and focus on you when we're at the house. And then the permanence, pushing, recommending as a professional what needs to be done, because our society is trained that if a professional, like if the doctor says, hey, you need a CAT scan, I'm not going to say, well, that's too expensive, I'm not doing a CAT scan. Same thing. Hey, we need a camera in your sewer. There's a serious issue. I'm not just going to pop it open and wait a week for you to call me back. No, I'm gonna cable it. I'm gonna camera it. I'm gonna let you know exactly what's going to go on. I'm going to tell you a more permanent solution so you don't have to worry about this call again. And if somehow it does come back 6 months later, 3 months later, we're going to come back. We're going to give you peace of mind. We're going to take care of we're going to stand behind anything that we do. And that's how we get the service to that next notch that a lot of these other companies, they're missing out because they're not giving their customer peace of mind. And that has to come from your culture. It has to be so driven into your company.
So Matt, how do you drive that into your guys? 'Cause I know you've been successful with bringing guys up and building guys, and quite frankly, rather quickly, with the same guys that other shops have been using, and you're doing a really good The passion's a big, guys, that's a nugget of gold right there. Because, like with me, I never fired a guy, never got on a guy, never yelled at a guy. Cried, went to the bar and just drank too much just to lose the day, whatever, But I never did it in front of the guys. Never. But I have a guy show up in the tech room with a shirt untucked, and I'd be what the
Right.
out of here, that kind of thing. And that drove the culture home that you're not showing up. That's a uniform. It is to be perfect, every single time. And you ought to have your shirt tucked over the culture home, that kind of thing. We would get on guys, we would shame guys for asking for help. I know shaming's not a popular thing. We're all supposed to be like one another and don't make them feel bad. But I'd have big guys, we'd shame them for asking for help for, pulling out a 50-gallon gas water heater. We are the guys, again, that kind of thing. That's part of the culture. So we created that. So we'd have these green guys come in, and they're looking to take care, as we were talking in the green room when we were getting ready here, we were talking about, master plumbers, apprentice plumbers. I had apprentice plumbers doing better and making more money for themselves and for me because they bought into this culture and went with it, but it's driving it home. So how did you, Matt, how did you drive the home? It was a passion. You have an example. Okay.
If we're charging a customer plumbing evaluation, because that drives me nutty. Because we're here to, and I think
that has to drive you nuts every single time. If that's part of the culture,
every time.
That's what you get. It's every single time. That's the big mistake that I make when I'm dealing, talking with men and asking, well, how can I be more better leader and that kind of stuff. Well, we talk about this kind of stuff. And what is the culture you're building? What are you passionate about? Do you guys know it? And then when they don't do it, do you get on it every single time? Every single time,
Yeah.
Go ahead.
No, go ahead, Bo.
What we've found is a lot of times you don't really have to rip into a guy. It's a matter of setting up an establishment of making them answer for it. The reality of the matter is, guys don't want to have to answer for things that they know they've done wrong. So you don't. And what I teach our management side, because we've got managers that deal over our guys, because we make sure that every one of these things gets answered for. So we have managers in place, and we call it stepping on the sparks in the grass, because we don't want to get to forest fire level. We don't. Other guys that this guy's doing this and this guy's doing this and this guy's doing this, and really build that positive side of that culture up. It really is a matter of having the passion, the belief in what you're doing, but then making that answer at each individual step to where a guy can't get 2 or 3 or 4 of these things out of line without having to at least give the answer for it, big or small.
I love that,
Bo. I like the metrics.
Mm-hmm.
Have the metrics.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Right. And I love it too, that the nugget of gold there that I took from that, which is very important, that I want to make sure everyone heard as well, was not only the metrics, but the idea of catching the guys that are doing the right things. I mentioned I'd be on it, see me lose my cool. But what worked, even if we had a job that went south and the guys still took responsibility for it, even though it cost us money, we lost money, it's a job from, where,
Oh, yeah.
and everything. But even if he made some mistakes in his decision-making process, but that he took responsibility at the meeting, I would lift him up like, hey, way to go. You were being slaughtered. But you didn't run and hide. You kept with it, and way to go, way to serve the customer. You know, and that's
I think
important.
metrics and accountability, like you were just talking about, and like you say, anytime that you're sitting down with the metrics, and that's something that we're actually diving into. We're starting to use Service Titan, you know, like really diving into stuff. Lindsay's all into the math now. She's getting into it. But like setting down with those technicians and saying, like, these are the numbers, you know, the numbers don't lie, you know, like your conversions and things like that. Driving those metrics home. And then, of course, like when they're getting a win, you want to let them know. That's the most important thing, is definitely, you know, encouraging good behavior is a big part of developing people. So definitely, I think that's a very, very important part of it. Something I wanted to say when you guys were talking about the passion is, I think that, and this is something I wrote out because I wanted to make notes. I knew we were doing this, and you know, you want to reflect and think. You know, what is the culture of your business? You know, you want to think you got some great ideas or something, right? And I believe that your business should have a feeling of want your team to know, like, we're doing stuff here, jump on board or not, you know. And I think that's something that's just really stood out to me in my mind. I just know that I'm and break my yard. I mean, that just don't work, you know.
Right.
It's got to be professional from the very get-go. So
That attitude, I love that. That's a nugget right there. Having an attitude, part of it is the attitude that I am already. I love Matt. What you're saying here, where that
him up and training them up. We've got 2 locations. We're actually firing off a 3rd right now. And the key to it is bringing in managers, guys that really can be champions and defenders of your culture. So you train them, you train them to get them to really believe in the culture. You train them to really deal with things as far as guys being out of line in the culture. Even to the comment earlier, the sparks in the grass, the thing is you train them to never let them
Oh, good stuff here. Good stuff here. Lots nuggets of gold here, guys. Here. Hey, I'm going to give these guys just a little break. We'll be right back with our masters here. But I have a nugget of gold for you. Okay, just for being here, whether you're here live or watching the replay or listening to the podcast, and that's my $1 Million Plumber Blueprint. Okay, in my $1 Million Plumber Blueprint are all the specs you need. All right, to build a successful, self-sustaining, and very profitable /free, and grab your free blueprint today. All right. Well, doing and making the changes,
Well, Bo wasn't one truck when we met Bo. Bo
No,
was
but we broke them. we broke them.
Bo was already broke when you met him.
pulling my hair out.
No pun. Right?
All right.
we reduced him to one truck.
I personally remember when Bo, he was
did reduce
right at the beginning. He was having a hell of a time.
Yeah, because Bo, you had, how many trucks did you have? And you were doing, was it just all commercial or new construction? I don't.
Because we were in construction, so we dealt mostly at a job trailer. So I had, I think, 26 guys at that time, and several jobs on sites to move around. So it wasn't as much. Trucks isn't an adequate measure necessarily for where we were at. But yeah, we were really turning stuff, that's for sure. But while we were turning lots of revenue, we weren't keeping any of it. And to be honest with you, the culture was, I don't know that bad is a good enough word for it. I mean, the culture was to a point of, I'd be hyperventilating Monday morning before I go out to the shop because I knew it was going to be a battle just to get people to do what they were going to do. And I don't have problems confronting people and dealing with things. It was to the point, it was just, throwing up all night Saturday night because of the stress levels of it, of dealing with people. The culture was terrible. And so you ask, what would I tell a one truck guy going up from there? Recruit often, fire anyone that doesn't fit your culture. No mercy, no hold back. If they don't fit your culture, you're out. If they do fit your culture, feed them, spoil them, take care of them, build them up, do all that. But if they don't fit, you're not doing anybody any favors, yourself or them, by holding them. Let them find some place where they do fit, because if they don't fit, they should not be with you. It's going to hurt you and them, really, in all honesty. Most of my guys that are actually doing better where they are now because they're in a place that fits the culture they want to be in. And now we've brought in new people that fit the culture where we want to be. Works great.
Perfect.
Huge.
And then fitting in is buying into your values too. Buying your company values. So as soon as you can find out any type of your company values are a reflection of you. So the reason why your business is successful, even if you are one guy in a truck, it's what you are channeling through the customer. So you have to learn how to replicate that. And it's typically a handful of values that are important for you. And you need to define that quickly, as quick as you can. It evolves over time. And then you want to find people that will buy into that, right? So like one of ours is know the code, apply the code, or just things like that. That's important to me, to know that you're making sure you're doing the stuff to plumbing code, or whatever that is. Educate the customer, whatever your value is, but get your values in line, and then make sure those people are buying into that. And then it's going to be much easier to keep those people on and grow, because at least they're buying into what is important to you.
I love in DW what you do very, very good as well as the sayings. So Matt, the sayings as well. All of you have the good sayings, but that saying thing's important. Yeah, like know the code, apply the code. That these simple little things, like my thing here with MDP, you guys know me from saying it ain't about plumbing. Well, that comes from me telling my guys for years, which is pointing towards our culture. It ain't about plumbing. It's about taking care of Mrs. Jones. It ain't about plumbing. So coming up with some your own personal sayings within your company that state what your culture is in a fun way like that.
We give options, never ultimatums. That's another one. So options is part of the inception, the acronym. Options was something that's really important to us. It's something that we've been trained on from the inception of our company. Options. So it's we give options, never ultimatums. So it's just a big deal for our company. So if people come in and they buy into that, or they're willing to work your systems and do what you ask of them, then you're going to be better off. So make sure, like out the gate, when you're filling these people out, if they're not buying into what you're trying to do, then they're probably not going to be a good fit. You give them some feedback, and if they change, that's great. But that's important that they buy into your values. Know what your values are. What's important.
Right on.
Go ahead, Bo.
A lot of it comes down to the kind of recruiting you do. If you see your recruiting as a sales, and you see it as you're selling to an avatar technician, and you really, really sell that culture well into the early parts you're recruiting, and then all the way into your onboarding, you'll bring people in that are excited about it, whether it's because it's what they already believe or it's because they're looking for something new.
And that's what I was wondering too, with the techs that you've got that really have bought into the culture. Do they identify somebody that comes in, maybe that's not a good fit, and they don't want to tarnish the culture? Have you experienced
I had a guy last a week. I had a guy last 1 week, and because 0 out of 5, and I never. The guy would always, blow smoke in my face. Oh, I want to be a team player. I want to be this. I've been plumbing for 20 years. And I'm like, all right, now go ride with this employee. Go ride with that. And every single one came back. They said, I have a weird feeling about this guy. Don't keep him. Don't keep him. And sure enough, at the end of the week, I sat him down and I said, hey, I don't know what it is, but you're not a good fit here. And I listened to my plumbers, and they saw that, and we grew closer because of that. Because it's like, this isn't just my baby, this is our baby. That's why it's not called Matt Delnay Plumbing Incorporated. It's Mountaineer. Mountaineers build this image. Mountaineers aren't one person; it's a team that gets up the mountain. People don't climb mountains by themselves. It's a team. We all take ourselves up the mountain. That's why I love the image of Mountaineer. That's why I named it Mountaineer.
That's good.
When people ask me, because I don't have any mountains in West Michigan. If anybody's wondering,
there's some hills. You can ski some hills, but there's no mountains.
It's hard to bike up sometimes.
Oh, good stuff, guys.
Guys.
Culture is so important and so vital to the success of your plumbing business. And these guys. You guys
has figured out a thing or
are
two.
Doing a great job at it, and really appreciate.
We're always improving it too, right?
Yes,
we're always improving. There's pieces, there's areas of your business that might have not a great culture, or something that's not perfect, but you do this really well, so you're always evolving too. So
that's a good point.
PW is as close to perfect as you can get, though.
That's true.
If I can get it in a spreadsheet, we're good to go. If I can get it in a spreadsheet, but if I can't get it in a spreadsheet, people don't go in spreadsheets, man. So
no, sadly, right.
Well, my takeaway is, it has to be clear with I like the idea, metric. It has to be measured. It helps with the guys. Passion was a word that was laid out here. You got to be passionate about it, and the culture is just and it's something you got to be on personally. You got to bring it yourself. I think one of you mentioned that as well. I remember one of you saying that. You got to bring it. They're not going to bring. Your guys just aren't going to do it. And so you got to be about it and be on it.
Absolutely.
And,
can I speak to that one more thing? Is those values, like I was talking about. A lot of people grow their businesses and sell them off, and I know Richard done that, but you had some values that you probably have on the wall, and now they're just words on the wall. So having the owner behind the business as it scales up and defining what is important and what the values are that's went from that one guided truck to multiple, right?
Right.
It's important to have those values on the wall and own up to them. If not, they just become words on the wall. You know?
And that's
when you sell your business, they will.
Oh, DW, and I'm glad you brought that. It just emphasizes the importance of how we, the owner, have to bring it and be all about it. Because I can tell you, I use my company as an example. We built this up and did really well, and we sold it. The company is a shell of itself now because the new owners didn't have the same values and the same passion, the same culture. In fact, they didn't build a culture. They were riding just the name of Attaboy Plumbing, their reputation. Reputation starts coasting downhill.
Yes.
I mean, you can't. That's not what. And these words on the wall are just words on the wall.
There's words on the wall.
Yeah, they're just words on the
they
wall.
They got to mean something. Those values. They got to
Right.
buy into that stuff. And if those people got to fit your values, whatever those are, you got to define that yourself. It takes time. It's going to take time to define your values. You don't even know what that is. Like when you're starting out, but you know the things that are important to you and what customer service is and how you get the job done end to end, happy customer and putting money in the bank. So how do you replicate that? Well, you have to project what it is that you do, your values through your people, and they got to buy into that. And they just can't be words on the wall.
Right.
Good.
That is a great. We're going to end right there because that's a great place to end. All right.
Yeah.
Boom. Mic drop. You know. Okay.
Love our masters.
I love you guys. hey, gang, nuggets of gold here. I know we had some glitches and some things happening here. Go back and listen to them. Hey, thank you guys for being here. I know we just left the screen here. Guys, stick around the green room.
Yes, please.
Right.
We just kicked him right out.
We just kicked him right out. We kicked him right out.
Get out. Yeah, stick her in the green room, please.
But hey, go back and listen here, gang. Nuggets of gold here. Okay, culture is a big deal. Okay, and you're creating it whether you realize it or not. And so you might as well create a positive culture, your culture, the culture that you want your company environment to be.
Yep.
Okay, so there we have it.
Okay.
All right. Hey, if you want to know more about culture and other aspects that are extremely important to building a successful, self-sustaining, and very profitable plumbing business, you need to check out my $1 Million Plumber Success Academy.
You do.
All right. There we go. Hit it, Shelby. Everything you need to know right there. Okay, in 12 bite-sized modules, over 150 video courses, okay, covering everything you need to know. And right now, okay, and I'm going to keep it. I love
14-day free trial.
I know. They were talking about getting rid of it. I said, no, I want to make it easy for my guys. Okay, so you can just get in there. 14-day free trial to check it out. Okay, no strings attached. Okay, 14-day free trial to check it out. But if you're serious about growing your plumbing business, I've hooked you. Okay, all right, I've hooked you. Simply type success in the comments or go to themilliondollarplumber.com/success to grab your free trial now. There we go. All right. Hey, thanks again to my masters. Okay, love those guys. Hey, they started, right where you're at.
Humble beginnings.
Okay, humble beginnings, and now they're multi-truck, multi-million-dollar plumbing businesses, and you can too. Because you were purposefully and wonderfully created, and you were created to do great things. So plumb like a champion.
Bye-bye.
Thank you for tuning in to Potty Talk Live with Richard Bainey, the $1 Million Plumber. If you enjoyed this show, share it now.
Just do it.
To catch past episodes and get alerts for new episodes, turn notifications on now and join us again for more tips, techniques, and strategies to help you grow your plumbing business.